Chef Regi Mathew. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Sleep. We're going to be talking about your journey as a chef and opening up two incredibly successful restaurants, first in India and then stepping into what is considered to be the most um, challenging F&B market in the world, New York City. So, Chef, thank you very much for being here, Regi. Tell me a little bit about why your product works so well and what you do differently after having been in the conventional F&B industry for so long. What was the thought?
Because see, I'm so passionate and proud about our culture, and food resonates the culture, and especially when it comes to Indian food, and I feel regional Indian food has a great role to play. And since I'm from South India, I thought, okay, no, let me concentrate on the native cuisine of mine, the Kerala cuisine.
Hey, what
So
happened?
when I did a study on understanding the cuisine of Kerala, we have a lot of great things which we could bring it out.
What makes your brand so successful, so unique, so different? Because you've worked in the conventional F&B industry, and what have you done differently? And why do you think it works and resonates so well?
See, for me, the food philosophy is same because I believe in the strength of regional Indian food to resonate the culture of us. And food is always a reflection of culture. So I felt that we have much more than what we are offering by bringing the best things, the hidden gems of regional Indian food to the global audience. So what we have in our Kapachaka Gandhari, the restaurants in Chennai and Bangalore, we follow the learnings what I got from mothers from various houses where I visited along with my friends almost around 300 houses and toddy shops. And we are bringing that learnings. That's what we have done it in Chennai and Bangalore. So the food philosophy is same even in Chennai, Bangalore, and New York. But the way we bring it is different. So here it is more about the nostalgia and or the food from our mothers is what we are projecting in Chennai and Bangalore. But in New York, the whole concept is like about the culture. It's all about a toddy shop food culture. Food philosophy remains the same as I told you, but the way it is being served there is small portions of food, like touchings, like what happens in toddy shop. And the toddy shops are small taverns in Kerala where they sell this naturally fermented sap of coconut or palm tree, where that has been people come in the evening, sit together, they have drink. Like people who are not even friends, they come together and have a couple of toddy and touchings, and they all become friends, and a lot of conversation gets into it. So I think it is a good culture, a food culture which can be spoken about. So which has good food, good drinks, and good conversation. So I thought that's a good concept to take it for the global audience.
How did you decide to take the concept first and present it to us in India, in Chennai and in Bangalore, which are already very different kind of food markets? What was it that made you decide to do this? Because obviously something that is an idea which was with you and your partners for quite a long time, right? Because I remember you spoke to all the background work that you did. And to some extent, I think even if the restaurant didn't come about, you'd be very happy because you spent 6 months traveling around the state, eating all the interesting foods and doing the research. That is the kind of sense I got. But now that you've got the restaurant, so first tell me, what made you realize and understand that it would work so well with us first in the India market?
So what we did is when we wanted to do our mother's food, the food what we used to had in our childhood, went to different houses, different places in Kerala. The learning was great. It is not that what we knew about Kerala was what through the mother's kitchen what we learned. So what we did is we did the familiarizing events in Bangalore. We did 3 mega events, around 20 to 25,000 people were there, where we are bringing almost around 100 dishes, which is being prepared by the home chefs. And then we did a big event in Sharjah, Dubai in 2017. And with that, we got the confidence of what we believe is something which people are looking for, like unadulterated love and affection, which is being put on food. And that is what makes the food unique back at home. So that is the same concept which we are trying to bring it over here. The cooking style is being the same way what has been done back at home. And once we got the confidence from all these guests who came to the events, we thought, okay, no, it is time for, because there was a need for having that food on a regular basis. So then we thought, okay, no, it is the right time for us to put. So initially we created that need for that cuisine, need for that food, and then we came up with the restaurant. So first restaurant we opened in Chennai and the second one in Bangalore.
Okay. So even though both restaurants are outside of Kerala, it's still within India. You have the audience to come and eat. And I remember when we first spoke, you were talking about how it was always a dream of yours to open outside of India. And as a person following regional food, and because, I mean, little unfairly, because you're Malayali, I would have thought you would have looked at the Gulf market first because of the prevalence of your community there. But what made you think of going to New York, which is not only the most challenging, but the most highlighted F&B market? And tell me a little bit about the process of opening in a place which doesn't have the supply chain that Bangalore and Chennai has for a lot of stuff that you guys cook. What were the challenges and what are the rewards of working and cooking in New York?
So as I told you, I'm so proud about our food and culture. So I wanted to bring it to the global audience. So when it came to our mind about opening something outside India, we thought when we do it, we need to do it at the best market. So it is climbing a mountain. It's better you climb the Mount Everest, and that's the most difficult one. But once you are there on top, in New York, then if you are doing delivering what we need, I'll just repeat that again.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about the food and culture, what we have. And during my research, I thought it is important for us to bring it to the global platform. And when we looked at it, yes, as I told you, as you said, New York is the toughest market. It is a place very far from us. And but as an artist, when I want to perform in the best stage, so that whether you are doing the right thing or not. Because when you do, it is more when you are climbing mountains, it is always better to climb the toughest one. We thought being in New York is climbing the Mount Everest.
And so what was the process, and how is it operating an Indian restaurant outside of India and operating it in India? I'm talking about even legally speaking, is it easier to do it in New York? Because obviously the markets in India have a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of rules. There's lots of people, and there is a lot of unsaid process that happens on the side. Is New York simpler for you in that way? Was it simpler?
I won't say it is simpler, but it is systematic. So that you know what is required to be done, how it need to be done, when it is going to be happening. So it is we knew the depth of the ocean, so we knew what we are getting into it. So there was no uncertainties or surprises for us, and we could open the restaurant in a very short time. From the time we thought about opening, 6 months time, we could put the things together. We got the licenses and start the restaurant in New York. So it is, yes, going from India to New York, the culture is different, the systems are different, the labor laws are different. So it took, before opening, took a little time for us to understand the whole thing so that we could launch the restaurant in the right way.
So what is it? What's happening in your restaurant in New York? How is the market receiving the product? What are you doing which makes you the happiest over there?
See, most of the time, when the guest who comes there, the New Yorkers, when they come, they ask, whether your food is spicy. So I keep telling them, see, yes, my food is spicy, but spicy by flavor. It is not spicy by pungency. See, that is what they don't like. They don't want burning on their stomach or lips. So the way we do the cooking, how back at home our mothers do the cooking, so everything is done on a slow cooking model so that the food doesn't give you that acidic level in it. And that is something which people are liking it. The New Yorkers are really loving the flavors. But they're not used to different flavors of spices. And usually what they get is only the misconcept about Indian food is they feel it is very rich and it is very pungent and kind of thing. And for me, I have a great thing to tell them yes, our food is spicy way flavor. At the same time, we also our food is nuts free because we don't use any nuts in our cooking, no sesame in our cooking, and other than the biggest nut, coconut, which is a superfood, and we don't use nuts, so people are happy about that. Second thing, we don't use dairy in our cooking, no ghee, no cream in our cooking other than the coconut milk. And the third one is other than the Kerala paratha, our food is gluten free too. Because these are something which the New Yorkers are really happy about it, because most of the people has either lactose intolerance or nuts free or gluten allergy. So for them, it's a comfortable food. So we have something, this is not something which I created. This is what we have it by, by nature. So it's important for us to bring it to the global audience. At the same time, they are enjoying that, the flavors
So,
of food without any kind of discomfort.
so this is one more question I want to ask you because you have restaurants both in India and in New York. The flavors and the recipes followed over the same recipe of the same dish. Is it the same in both places?
So that's what I told in the beginning. I have not changed my food philosophy.
Okay.
The way we cook, even in New York, we do cooking in urlis. Back in Kerala, what we do is that thick bottom, flat vessels is what we use for cooking. Same in India, same in New York. The cooking style we are not changed. The ingredients we are not changed because we get all these ingredients available there. So we have done the logistic arrangements to get the spices and everything which is required for us over there. So it is not a big difficulty. Only areas of concern was the temperature for fermentation and all the thing which we tackled it.
So one of the things that I know, I have heard a friend of yours and mine have said about how in New York, mustard oil is supposed to be only for massage. So you can't really use it for cooking. So there's a lot of interest that you have to actually teach them. Is there some stuff that you had to actually tell the food and drug people over there, the guys who set the rules about what ingredients can be used so that it suits your cooking? Because your food is very authentic, which when people go there, they normally tweak.
So two things, because one is we don't use mustard oil, so that part has been taken care. Second thing is
Absolutely.
we use coconut oil. So coconut oil is being regarded as a superfood and great thing. So everybody feels what olive oil had feel years back is what is there with coconut. When they see it's cooked in coconut oil, they feel really happy about it. And since we use high quality coconut oil, it doesn't give you the smell of coconut oil while you are eating. It just become very neutral flavor.
Okay. So tell me something, Regi, now that you've got a restaurant in New York, which is now running very successfully. I think it's been what, 4 or 5 months, right? Or six
Yeah,
months?
it's almost 5+.
Okay, 5 plus months. What next? Next restaurant abroad or in India? And
Usually, what I take time to
yeah,
move from one to other. So the first restaurant we opened, it took 2 years for me to open the second outlet in Bangalore. Then it took a couple of years for me to get into New York. So I would like to see one at a time because it's a larger space, larger format. It's almost around 9,000 square feet. So we are just working on the restaurant has been successful. Now we are creating a lounge over there because mainly for corporate dining. So that is going to be happening now. So we wanted to grow vertically over there and establish well, and before we move on to the next one. So
okay.
I think for next 1 year I'm not thinking anything because
So
once it comes to my brain, then I start thinking about that. So I thought, okay,
but
no,
next one where? Next one where? There or here?
I don't know. It's all like the spark comes at that moment and say okay, let us go.
Okay, fine. You
So
don't want to talk about it. I understand.
no, as of now, I want to establish in New York and inspire a lot of Indian chefs to get back into the regional Indian food. I just want to prove it to them, saying that, okay, no, our regional Indian food has enough and more opportunity, and let us get into that. And same way, how Korean or Japanese food has become popular, let us make our regional Indian food popular. So that's a
And
mission first.
next question I was coming to is that how has the Indian restaurant community in New York and further on accepted or understood or been inspired by what you are making? Because Indian food, I mean, the South Indian food or even the Indian food is like considered to be like a $10 or $15 meal where you go in and there's like a buffet. That was like, it's the most popular or the most prevalent. And what you are doing and a handful of other restaurants are doing are changing the way that people are looking at the food. Um, you are probably something that I mean I see your social media, and there are enough people who come in and talk about how they would never imagine having food like that in New York, and these are from Malayalis who have lived there for generations even.
I think thanks to my fellow chefs over there, they had done a great job, like creating uh, great restaurants in New York, and by telling the world that okay, no, Indian food is not something like a mass food. We also have something more than that. And when you wanted to put a restaurant in a prominent location, which is a pride for all of us, like it's not only for us. Even every Indian feel proud that okay, we have a restaurant in New York, which is very close to the Times Square, and so that is something a pride moment for every Indian. It's not only for Malayalis, every Indian. So when you come with a restaurant of that kind in a place like that, definitely it is not going to be very cheap. It is going to be like the costs are there. Like every because of it is an Indian restaurant, the rent doesn't come down. So all the expenses are the same, and people are appreciating, and even the Indians are really appreciating because they are getting the food what they are thinking. Most importantly, all the Indians whom I met, they are saying now yes, we have places in New York where we can take the New Yorkers and show them that okay, no, this is our food is, this is our culture is, this is something which I wanted to entertain you with. So that is from general food. It is more gone to a level where people are proud about showing their food and culture to the various people.
So, Reji, I wanted to ask you another question about, how specifically you've obviously done a huge amount of research and put together these recipes. When is the next cookbook coming, and what are you doing as far as training is concerned? Because that part of the industry is lacking even in our country very badly. I don't know how, as far as skill levels abroad, but here it is one of those things that people in the restaurant industry, there are not enough people joining for whatever reason. What is it that you are doing or attempting to do to look at that part of the equation?
I'm noting down all the points what I learned. So I don't know. It may again mine is very unpredictable. I don't know when I'm going to do certain things, but all learnings I'm just noting it down. Second thing with regard to learning or teaching the new generation. So last year we have started a new concept here. It's a Center of Excellence on Regional Indian Food, and we have taken 10 students as restaurant operation management trainees, and they are working with us in the restaurant, in the kitchen, and we are trying to teach them not only about the kitchen, we are also teaching about how the customers see, because for me a, a chef is not just a person who cooks the food. He has to cook the food, he has to communicate, he has to sell the food to the others. It's a concept which you are doing it. So we are also giving them exposure to the restaurant, and but mainly in the kitchen. So it is a 2-year program, and once they finish their program, they will be inducted as chef de parties in our own restaurants. So we are we are growing. We also need to have good talents. At the same time, we also wanted to train the people the way the philosophy what I felt that is required for future generation and for the Indian food. Because most of the time, what happens is like somebody who pass out from a college, the first thing which comes to their mind is they want to do a French cuisine or like a molecular gastronomy or Japanese or any of this one, because Indian food is never an option for them. So I thought it is important for us to bring it to them, give them an opportunity to understand the greatness of our cuisine, the culture, and how we can do with a simple Indian, which we think the regional food. If we can take it to New York as a market, why not other chefs also get into the same thing and make our Indian food, the regional Indian food, shine everywhere. I am looking for a day where it is not very far. Probably in a couple of years' time, you will see Indian restaurants doing very well in all over the world. Like how a sushi bar, people would like to go to sushi or Korean restaurant. I'm sure that Indian restaurant, especially the regional Indian food, is going to do well.
And in the push for regional Indian food in New York, where you are going to be, where you are based for some time of the year, do you want to also start teaching the chefs in New York who may not necessarily be Indian the ways of cooking your kind of regional Indian food? Is that something that you've thought of, or is that something
Now,
that
now you are giving a lot of ideas, Vikramjit. So I don't know, like probably like later stage once we get established, probably we would like to give them an insight into regional Indian food. Yeah, it's a good thought, like definitely.
yeah, why not have a French guy make Malayali food? Why do
Um,
you be a Malayali
see,
chef
yeah.
doing
So
French
that
food?
is something which I always feel is like a French guy making Malayali food. He may not be regarded as a Malayali chef because like me being an Indian, I cannot claim like as you know I was a Thai chef, like I can't claim that power.
You were a Thai chef. Manish started his life as an
Yes,
Oriental Thai chef.
yes.
There must be something about the Thai your Oriental food which makes you go this way.
Probably like the flavors are similar, so probably that is something which helped me to understand more about the flavor profiles of Kerala cuisine and our South Indian food and Asian food, especially like Thai, Malaysian, and Singaporean food has a lot of similarities in terms of the flavors. So I think see flavor is something which you need to like work on. Um, I think it gives a lingering feel, like you feel like having that again. Not a rich, creamy food is what I felt.
Okay, let's get back to the French guy making Malayali food or regional Indian food being made by people who are not from the country, which is, I think, one of which should, I feel, be one of the kind of points of having a restaurant in an international setting like New York. Have you thought of that?
I would love to see a situation where other nationalities making our food. See, because like Kerala food is a culmination of various cooking techniques from the world, be
Hmm.
it Portuguese or Danish or English. See, because we learn baking from them, we learn fermentation from them, we learn stewing, cutlet. Everything is like we learn the best cooking techniques and use our hyperlocal ingredients and created our own version. That's what is Kerala food, and I think this is something which any nationality can get into it. Like see steamed items which we learn from Indonesia. Definitely, that is something which has a great value over there and baking and roasting. We do have roasting. We have like cutlets, which has been again like learned from Portuguese, and our vindaloo is from Portuguese. So there is a lot of things which we learn from them. So I think it will be nice, a proud moment for us to see them making our spices, and I'm sure they'll be able to come out with some great dishes too.
And
Kerala
we
inspired or Indian inspired dishes.
and you heard it here first because we may soon have a Regi Mathew culinary school for people who are not from India.
No, I would like to like cook for my guests so
Yes.
that like I can spend more time with them and like um, uh, convey my philosophy to them like on
Would you have if there is a chef who's a local chef in New York who wants to come in and train with you, are you open to that idea?
see I may not be immediately getting into something like that because till I get established I don't think I am a teacher
Hmm.
and
No, you are a teacher everywhere, Reggie. Don't kid yourself, okay?
no, I think the primary aim now is for me to like put the whole concept in the way I envisage like how I wanted to have it in New York. So once I put it, then probably we may look at it like So
What
that's
is the most popular dish in New York from your restaurant?
ah, okay. So that's a very difficult question to ask, like an answer. Yes, the star is like we have our crowd pudding even there as a star, but people are liking the seafood, especially the gooseberry masala is a star in our restaurant.
Hmm.
Then we have the same moili, the fish moili. We serve fish moili as a soup as well as a curry.
Okay.
So along with mini appam, we don't make big appam. Instead of that, we make mini appams. So mini appams with fish moili is something which people are really loving it. And yeah, of course, like the meat is something everybody likes. We have sardine fry, pomfret over there. Especially like Indians who come there, they would like to eat sardine and pomfret. And Westerners they would like to have like their halibut and all in our own cooking style. So it's something like when you really look at the menu, you can't say like a guest is coming to try only this particular dish because we have a lot of repeat guests who are coming in. So they wanted to try a lot of dishes. So the way we have done the menu there is all about small portions so that they can try a lot of dishes. It's not that they just eat one dish and then the meal gets they get full with the food.
Yeah, and of course, Kerala, the fish you use normally high omega-3 protein. You are mostly vegan because you don't use any animal product and gluten free. So it's like the hip cuisine, but with oodles of flavor. Do you
That's
think you opened the restaurant at the right time in New York, or would you have liked to open it earlier?
I think it's the right time for us to open now because I feel mentally I'm ready to do that. Because I have two restaurants back in India. I don't want to just desert that. I need to give enough importance to the restaurants what we have back in India in Chennai and Bangalore. And yeah, I think it is the right time for us to do that.
And how many months are you going to spend in New York? How many here? Have you decided, or it depends
Um,
on the restaurant?
no, it's a very difficult question to answer, but it's I'm uh, like both the places are very well connected to me. Like even back in New York, I know what is happening in Chennai and Bangalore, and when I'm here in India, I know what is happening there in New York. So that way, I'm comfortable to run both the places, and my presence is there. Even if I'm not physically present, I know what is happening there. So that's why I said I don't want to go for too much of expansion. I only wanted to do step by step so that I have that control of what is happening in each location.
Regi Mathew, thank you very much for speaking with us, and we hope you have greater success in New York and beyond.
Looking forward to host you there in New York, Vikramjit.
Thank you.
Thank you.